Episode 71, Alex the Blade Khanbabian, owner, aka Sunnyvale, manager to the stars. Yeah. We're back in the house coming off a crazy week.
Oh my God. Yeah. The Conor McGregor, that was unbelievable. I love that.
Man, it's crazy because they had Wrestlemania a couple days afterwards, but it cool. seemed more like Wrestlemania at the UFC.
It did. Big time.
And you had I think the fallout of that, it's going to be like this long lasting thing, right? Because there's a new lightweight champion. I think 5 out of the 6 fighters impacted by the thing didn't even get to fight. 3 fights were canceled, right?
Yeah, maybe more. I don't know. I was getting confused. This guy's got his eye messed up. This one girl's having a breakdown, and then we're pulling what's his name again? I can never say it.
Iaquinta.
Yeah, Iaquinta. Thank you. Yeah, Iaquinta. I thought Felder was gonna fight, and then it was crazy. And then and it was funny because when Iaquinta said, you know what, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like a whirlwind. That's how I felt because I didn't know what was going on.
Oh man, imagine being the promoter. Imagine being Dana White and having to, they said there was 5 potential matchups for the main event.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not counting possibility of your co-main event, because at first there was speculation that, what's her name? Thug Rose was injured too, because she was apparently really upset. And there was rumors that her wrist or hand was impacted somehow by the event. And I mean, looking at the camera and the video angles I saw on YouTube, and I think they played it on TMZ and stuff, it doesn't look that major. But then if you consider all these fighters are they're cutting weight, it's no one's in a good mood. You have your corner people out there. It's stressful, and it's New York. This is only the 2nd or 3rd event ever in the state.
Yep.
And
yeah, no, it was crazy. I mean, just the whole, the Thug thing, from what I understood, was that it was just a traumatic experience for her. And I guess she has a backstory of some kind of, I'm not sure what it is, what happened with her life. And somehow this brought, thoughts of that. And so she freaked out. So I don't know.
I mean, just tensions are already high. You're about to defend your title against somebody that was considered unbeatable, right?
Yeah.
And then most people, not most, but a lot of people were talking about that first fight, hey, that could have been a fluke. And, is she really the champion? Is Joanna Jędrzejczyk, or however you pronounce it?
I can't say
Jędrzejczyk, Joanna Champion, whatever she calls herself, right? The Boogie Woman, is she really just going to come back and get her title and stuff? So I can imagine all that pressure. She's stressed as hell.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Man. This is kind of crazy, but there's got to be a moral to the story here. Because if you look at John Jones and DC, right? And DC fought that was the best DC I've seen. Those first 2 rounds with Jones, right? And then look what happened, because Jones is messing around, partying, not doing the right thing, getting in trouble, lying and shit. They take away the title over it, right? He gets it stripped over and now look, Khabib. Khabib is a lightweight champion. What happened to that lightweight championship? Who had it before? Conor. And what happened?
Yeah, Conor. I mean, they're similar, but they're not similar. I mean, Conor is just, I think it's who he is. He's one of these guys where nothing's happened. So he's done the bottle incident, throwing bottles, right? Yeah. Then the Bellator incident. It's you had one on top of the other. Did anything really happen? No, nothing. And so he's he's like, hey, I can do whatever I want. And I'm going to do it. And then, because it was funny, because when I remember Dana had mentioned, Dana said, you know what he said to me? Conor said, it had to be done. It was okay, I had to come in here and cause havoc, break windows, hurt people, do all this shit to show that I'm serious, because this guy messed with one of my partners, one of my guys that's on my team. And so I think that nothing's happened to him. Finally, something is going to happen to him, though. And now we're going to see. We're going to see, though. We'll see what really happens.
It was funny. Somebody brought up to me, he's like, man, he's turning into John Jones. I'm like, no. He's not turning into John Jones. No, he's turning into Bieber. Yeah, remember Bieber egging people's houses? He's this billionaire entertainer. Everyone either loves or hates the guy, right? And he's out there throwing eggs at people's houses you little bastard.
Yeah. It's not the same.
Throw your own fucking mansion. Yeah. Go do that. It's just he's got a kid at home now, and that's the big point that Dana White brought up. He's like, man, you got a family and all this stuff. Yeah. And personally, I see 2 Russians fighting. I'm going to step back and be like, that's y'all. That's your world.
Yeah.
Conor, don't get involved in that. You don't want that. I'd keep it professional, Khabib. I wouldn't piss those guys off.
It's awesome though right now. I mean, really, do you want to see that fight? You want to see that fight? I mean, it's like, okay, cool. Khabib's got beef with him now. It's like, hey, you want to fight me? You think you're a gangster? Bring it. And then, Conor, now he has a reason. It's like, you messed with Artem, so now I have a reason to fight you. And that's cool. I want to see that. I want to see how that plays out.
Man, it's funny. It's like the better WrestleMania build-up than the Ronda Rousey WrestleMania build-up.
Oh, man, it was way better. Way better. I was like, everybody was talking about it. I was like, people were like, oh yeah, I went to get my haircut. And the guy's all, hey, he knows I do, I'm at school, right? He's all, did you hear about the Conor McGregor situation? I'm like, yeah, that was crazy. He's like, it was. He was so into it. The guy's not even in MMA. He just knows that I do that stuff.
It was so funny. It was like TMZ and Ariel Helwani were both like outside of the jail. Yeah. They're like, they loaded Conor in through the side door. Then Ariel's out there with his, because he's a tall guy, man.
Yeah, I've never met the guy.
It's funny. He's like the same size as like those like real lanky welterweights.
Yeah.
He looks like one of those guys. So I've seen him interview fighters before where like he's like way bigger.
Like a Wonder Boy type lanky, like long and
kind of, yeah. Like you can tell he's getting paid a little better now. Like his suits fit, but like before, like he was kind of this real stretch guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's out there in the jail in Brooklyn, and you got Conor McGregor in there, and you got to have a pretty good mix between fans of his and stuff in there. But there's got to be some cops that just don't give a shit about the celebrity.
They took I saw a picture of him with coppers, right? They were hanging out like, hey, I'm with Conor McGregor. I mean, dude, it's people. It's not. You know what? People are not going to like what I say. It's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. It's not like he killed somebody, or he's like he did not intentionally want to hurt. I mean, he wanted to scare them. He wasn't like, okay, I'm going to kill somebody with this. I bet he threw it out there the window thinking it wasn't going to break. Then he said, break the window. But I mean, I don't know if he really thought that it was going to hurt people. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's me. I'm just thinking he seems like he's not that guy. He would do like some kind of crazy shit, but not where I'm going to intentionally try to hurt somebody. That's my impression of it.
I feel like he feeds a lot off of attention, and having that entourage with him of like 20 folks or whatever it was. I could see him getting amped up, and then cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I don't.
If they are pissed off enough at the end of a 6-hour flight coming across the pond from Dublin or wherever he was to New York in a private plane, if you're still pissed by the time you land after a 6-hour flight, man, that is an alcohol, because he'd have been sleeping.
Yeah,
if anything, man, those guys were partying the whole way over because.
I don't know.
They're not acting right.
I hope he's not. I mean, but people say that because, it's USADA's still there. He can get tested at any time, can he still? I mean, he's in a part of the UFC, technically. Is he still signed by the UFC? I would think that would be stupid.
Is he in the testing pool?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to know, because I would think he would be.
Another guy that's going to, be in the testing pool again now is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. I want Brock to come back. And again, he used the UFC though. He used that same ploy. He said, listen, I'm going to sign with the UFC. I'm thinking about leaving the WWE whenever the contract dispute comes up. And then sure enough, they sign him, and I'm sure he got the money that he wanted. Yep. But he put in there, hey, I can at least fight in the UFC. I love that. I want to see him fight. I want to see him get wrecked though. I want to see him get pulverized.
Have you heard the next fight that's rumored right now?
The winner of Miocic
and DC, which already is a crazy fight. Because you're talking about title basically for DC. If they're fighting in heavyweight, DC could come away as a 2-division champion, heavyweight and light heavyweight, which is, I mean, not for nothing, but DC was already a terror at heavyweight before he moved to light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Where does it leave Kane?
I mean, I think Kane, his main thing is he's still thinking about, can I really stay healthy and fight? Can I get over this injury? Can I make it happen? He has to get to a fight, and it's not fair to DC to, say, well, I'm on the same team. You got to have a fight, show me that you're back in the game, start fighting again, win some fights. And then, I mean, it wouldn't take too many fights for him to be in the title contention though.
I mean, Kane's going to go down as one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. So, I mean, at this point, he's a 2-time champion already.
Yeah. And
DC having the ability to go out there and be a 2-division champion, being an incredible accolade, especially. But man, Miocic, he gets better and better with every fight. People sort of slept on him at first, and now all of a sudden, like, he's going through everybody.
Do they have the odds out on that fight yet? Because I'm picking DC. I think DC, that's a great matchup.
I can't bet against DC because every single time people are like, I don't know if he can do it. Like, he killed.
Man, he's that Miocic. How do you say his name?
Miocic,
yeah, Miocic. He is. He's a little heavyweight. He's not a big heavyweight. He's not a guy that has to cut weight to make 265, and that's what DC wants. I think punching power wise, he's not as dangerous as, Nagano or someone like that. So I think it's a great matchup for him. I think he can definitely, I pick him to win that fight.
So as of right now, or as of, I guess, Saturday, April 7th, DC comes into the underdog at plus 155 to minus 185 for Miocic.
Oh, that's not that. It's close.
It's pretty close. And I mean, just a couple bets go in and that changes.
Yeah, it'll change. Yeah.
Goes back and forth, It's going to be a very competitive fight. Yeah. I think. Miocic isn't the biggest heavyweight, and I mean, hell, DC isn't the biggest light heavyweight, but I mean, he was manhandling guys at heavyweights, like his fight with Josh Barnett, and the heavyweight Grand Prix was like really a standout moment, and then everything from there, Bigfoot, oh my god,
yeah, he had some big dudes in there.
Yeah, just picked him apart. Like his timing is so crisp, his grappling, his transitions, like, and he's just tenacious.
Yeah.
Miocic's great striker, but I don't see him having that full body coordination like DC.
DC's a good boxer, man. He can box, and he's got a great chin. And I think he's just better everywhere than the other guy, Miocic. So I just think that DC's going to handle him. That's my, you never know. He has improved, but I picked DC big time. I think that's definitely a fight I would bet on.
Yeah, and for sure, like as Miocic is the favorite, he makes a little bit of money off of that as well. It's like,
yeah, he's gonna make bank. That's a big money fight for him. He's gonna get. I love that. That's what it's all about. It's about you put in years and years of hard work, and then you get the payday. That's what this is. It's a huge payday for him. And then if you can turn around and get Brock, that's massive, man. He's gonna make millions. He's gonna tear it up. That's great.
So it was pretty crazy. At WrestleMania, you had Lesnar and Ronda Rousey, two big UFC stars. I think they're both still under contract with the UFC. I know Brock still is. He always was. Mm-hmm. He's just not in the USADA testing pool right now. Mm-hmm. His new contract with WWE allows him to be basically a two business, or you want to call it like a two sport athlete, right? Mm-hmm. But he's able to fight, go in and out of UFC as he sees fit. He's still the WWE Universal Champion as of WrestleMania. He won. Yeah. And the big speculation was he's going to, lose, and then he's just going to ride off into the sunset and go back to UFC. And so Dana White was in attendance at WrestleMania in New Orleans. Yeah. He's wearing the Ronda Rousey sweater, and I want to talk about her thing in a minute. She was a lot better than I thought she was going to be.
I didn't even watch it.
It was cool. It was probably the best match of the night. It was fun. Cool. It was just fun. Yeah, but she did really well.
Nice.
And she had been really, it seemed pretty like timid or shy in her, the appearances she had like leading up to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like she was doing it on purpose just so you'd like, catch you off guard, and it would make like a bigger impact.
Nice.
But yeah, her part of the show was great. The Brock Lesnar thing at the end, man, the crowd wasn't having it. They weren't into it.
What happened? What happened?
The guy he was going against, a lot of the fans aren't really into him. Is all it is.
Reigns?
Yeah,
Reigns. They don't like that guy.
He's like the one that a lot of the fans feel like is being like force fed. Like this is like the next guy, and so I think they like he was supposed to be the guy that they made the champion. Mm-hmm. But the crowd was like, they were like fucking throwing beach balls, and they're chanting all kinds of just horrible shit during the match. Like it was bad. Oh, wow. And I think midway through they switched it up, and they had Lesnar win or retain.
Oh wow! Can they do improv like that? Like, hey, you're supposed to win. Let's switch it. The crowd hates the shit.
So there's people all around the ring, like the different, the personnel, security, medics, the announcers and stuff, and they got an earpiece to the back the whole time. And the referee usually is wearing an earpiece as well. And so like the referee is like the third man in the ring. So a lot of the timing, if the match is running, if it's like, it's like you're talking about like TV time, like advertisers, like you go on a commercial break. Mm-hmm. So they want to make sure, okay, you got to face the hard cam. Like they'll like remind you of stuff. Like the referee will tell you like, hey, it's time to go home. Like the match, you got to end it because we're about to cut to break, or the next one has to come on. So for TV time, and if you miss those cues or whatever, it's like, there's like big implications, like sponsors get pissed and shit. So like the timing of matches matters, especially on like a big thing like that. So it could have been they got a message from the back saying, hey, this isn't going to work. Brock's got to win, and it's entertainment, whatever. And then, he busted him open. He was like, he started throwing elbows at his head, and it's pretty cool. A lot of blood. There's usually not blood anymore.
Have you seen his body change? Like thinking he's going to be going back into the testing pool? Does it look like did it look like he was on steroids at all? And all of a sudden he got off? Is there any like,
dude, he's such a thick dude. He hasn't come back like shredded lately. Like the only time
that's my impression because I don't watch WWE, but I see pictures of him, and I looked at his latest picture. I go, he doesn't look like he's that buff like usual. I've seen him before when he was. I know he was on it. He was like shredded.
When you see the six pack on him, a 300-pound guy with a six pack.
Exactly.
He's anyway a freak of nature. But then again, they're supposed to have a pretty like strict wellness policy there. I don't know if he's part of that testing pool in WWE because he's not a full-time employee. They're all contractors, but I think because of his part-time status, I don't think he's tested the same. I know the regular mid-card sort of like regular wrestlers are like, it's very stringent testing because of the concussions and all the, the bad publicity shit, people dying and stuff. And I don't know. So you figure for him to get into the testing pool, he'd have to basically be good for at least, you'd want a month or two to where there's nothing in his body. And like, it's so funny. It was like the most taboo thing in the world, but like now everyone's like, what are you going to do? They're all on shit.
Oh yeah. I don't know who's not on. I mean, it's gotta be, especially if it's an entertainment thing. You're not really
at that level.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I don't know why they made it illegal, to be honest, in the WWE, just because people were dying. I mean, that for safety purposes, that makes sense. But I mean, if they're they want to look good, they're trying to be as buffed as they can. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, you'll see these guys like, man, these guys are massive. Look at these dudes. It's pretty impressive.
Just the big thing to me is the concussions, right? And then you got to figure there's so many wrestlers now. And they're able to fill those towns and they're able to fill those TVs up because before it was the number of people in the business was like so much less, right? So if you wanted to have a show here, like all over the country and tour and keeping these guys healthy and ready to go, like if you're driving from, Cleveland to Philadelphia or something, and then you're supposed to wrestle and then go to the gym and drive again and, drive town to town to town every night. So you need multiple crews being able to do that because there's no, it's not like there's a summer break, right? So in absence of that, they just have a ton of wrestlers. So hopefully they're spacing them out, but they have to, they're 24-hour a day network now. There's a show on every day. They're doing a big event in Saudi Arabia this month. It's like, it's going to be this whole big thing, right? So it's worldwide. They're in China and Japan, all over the damn place. And they're the only ones. I mean, there's independent shows, but like that's the big one.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to watch a show, it's got to be WWE. I'm not going to watch some of these other TNN, whatever, TNT.
And all the cool stuff. One now is the New Japan one. That one's fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't even know, but I'm out of it.
Josh Barnett's the commentator.
Oh, is he? Yeah, is he good?
Yeah. Well, because he was a pro wrestler for a long time, right? He's one of Shayna Baszler's trainers. She just won the women's title over there.
And for Big Time Wrestling?
She's the WWE NXT, like their developmental league. Yeah. It's kind of like their other brand. It's like their minor league thing. So she just became champion on Saturday.
Is that the same thing Brian Johnston was in? Is that the same wrestling organization that Brian Johnston was in? Because I know he was in Japan when he was wrestling. I didn't know what it was called, but he would go there.
There's a couple. There's All Japan. There's New Japan. There's Inoki Genome.
Oh, okay. There's multiple ones. All right.
New Japan's like the big one. They're actually in the U.S. now as well. They opened a dojo in LA. Like there's stuff, you can get New Japan stuff now, like in, what's the store in the mall for like the alternative kids?
I don't know.
The other Spencer's. It's like Spencer's, but the other place. Well, there's shits in there now too. So you have kids running around wearing like New Japan wrestling shirts. It's crazy.
That's cool. That's a cool shirt. I think, whoa, what is that? New Japan.
Yeah, it's actually getting popular again. Like not as much as the 90s where like everybody was wearing the Stone Cold thing, but like it's getting popular again. But, Ronda Rousey, her thing was good.
Well, I'm going to watch it. I saw some clips of it. There was one thing, she did like this one throw. I thought it looked lame though.
No, it did.
The one where she like threw, but it was like she didn't really fall. It was weird. I was like, what is that? That didn't even look like a real throw.
Yeah, like
other than that, everything else looked cool.
Leading up to it, there was a couple things where she would have an argument with somebody and they'd like put their foot up like they're going to kick her.
Yeah.
But it looks so fake. And then she throws her backwards, and the girl kind of lands on her feet a little bit.
That was the one. The one. I'm like, that didn't look like legit. I was like, what's going on with that? What looked cool, the scene that I saw was when she lifted Triple H. That was cool. I was like, whoa, cool. I like that. And then that was neat.
Well, he's such a pro though. He's gonna, whatever he's doing, like whatever story they're trying to tell with somebody like his level, like they're gonna make it look good.
Yeah, it looked good. I was like, whoa, I like that.
Because like they made the match the way they did to like kind of protect her, sort of show her strengths and like hide the weaknesses a little bit. Because if you're like Kurt Angle's like probably one of the best ever, Triple H is in there, and then Stephanie's like been in the business her whole life. So you like surround her with people that are really experienced, so you can kind of like let her get her shit in.
Right.
Without, and then like you make it look as, you like she hits you, even she hits you wrong. You're like, oh, it hurts so much.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. They did the right thing because, yeah, from what I mean, the parts that I saw, I was like, but then, it's big time wrestling. And in a way, I'm happy. I was like, cool, man. That's Ronda's like gotten her own gig now. And I'm supporting that. That's really awesome.
Yeah. She's actually smiling. So it's cool. Like she usually looks fucking miserable in MMA. Like,
yeah, she was so nervous. I felt for her so bad.
Cause she still has this thing on her when she would go out there to fight. Like it felt a lot like this is the thing my mom is making me do. Like that's like the vibe I got from her, because she would go out there and she'd give everybody this mean stare, and if she won, she'd be like, yay, and like super happy. But like when she didn't, she got the face, the sour grapes, and then just like stormed off to the back and didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah. I think she still has the sour grapes, like, because my understanding, she doesn't want to talk about MMA. She's, it's like, I don't want anything to do with MMA. But I mean, she's such a competitor, but I think that, she had such a great run where she was winning and winning and winning. And then when you lose that feeling of invincibility, it's like, whoa, wait a second. Maybe I'm not as good as people think I am. And so you buy into it when you're winning, and all of a sudden you realize, wait a second. And I think it all just started snowballing for her, and she lost it. And mentally, she lost it. She was losing. She lost those fights mentally. She wasn't prepared. Mentally, she might have trained super hard, but the moment she walked into that ring, she lost, because you could tell her demeanor. It's the same thing. It's like they teach you when you're, how not to be a victim. When you're walking down the street, don't look down, don't have proper posture, all these tools, because the bad guy sees that. And he's like, am I going to fight that guy, or I'm going to take that guy? I'm going to take the guy's eyes down. Looks like he's going to be a wimp.
The rounded shoulders, like staring at their phone, like real passive behavior.
Exactly. And that was Ronda. Ronda stepped in that ring. When I saw Amanda Nunes, she knew that. She was like, I'm going to just come out. She wasn't even afraid. Usually you feel somebody out. She just came, bam, balls to the wall and put her out. So, really that's important. The mental game. If you don't got the mental game, you're in a lot of trouble.
Did you hear the podcast Chael Sonnen did, I think, with Chris Jericho a few weeks ago, and they were talking about Ronda Rousey, like, leading up to her big thing at wrestling. Man, they're like, Chris Jericho basically said, yeah, after those two losses, it's like after the first loss, it's like she wasn't the same. She came out there, like you said, like that victim posture, like real timid. And Chael's like, I'm going to tell you the truth about Ronda. It's not very nice, but this is just the way it is. The truth is, Ronda was never very good to begin with. It's just all the other girls were worse.
No. Bullshit. Kat Zingano's a tough girl, man. She fought some tough girls. I mean, you just saw Kat. I mean, she lost too just recently, but she is a really tough fighter, and she went through her fairly quickly. I mean, Sarah Kaufman. Who else? Who was the girl that Alice Davis?
Alexis Davis.
Alexis Davis. Yeah. She's legit black belt on the ground. She got tossed and finished. Quick. I mean, it can happen. It can happen, but those aren't flukes. I mean, you do that. She did that to a lot of people. So you got to give her credit. She can fight. It's just, like I said, it's a mental thing. You can't say, oh, she can't fight. That's bullshit.
I wasn't saying she can't fight. He was basically saying that the level of competition at that point wasn't as deep at all. And then all these other girls started coming up and just passed her.
Maybe. I mean, what's the girl that retired that got pregnant, Brian Caraway's girlfriend?
Oh, Miesha Tate.
Miesha Tate. She's tough, and she smashed her multiple times. Yeah. And she won the UFC championship. She beat, was it Holly Holmes?
Yep.
Yeah, she tapped Holly Holmes out. So it's like, come on. I mean, that's
how much of that do you think was skill versus
who are you asking me about?
With Ronda, like any of the fights with Ronda, how much of it do you think it was just like wilting under pressure, like just being that spotlight just freaking these other women out?
Well, no, I think Miesha Tate's mentally, she's strong. I think when you listen to her, I mean, I bought into it, and the way she fought, she came out there, I'm going to fight, to my best of my abilities. And she did. She came out there. You could tell she trained. She was in great shape. She fought great. But when they hit the mat, which was Ronda's strong point,
yep.
And maybe if Miesha Tate would have been able to defend the takedown better, then it would have been a different fight. But once they hit the mat, and I think the fights that she lost, she was having hard times taking people to the ground. She couldn't take Holly Holm to the ground. That was huge. So she had to do a stand-up fight. That brought out her weaknesses. And I think I think that was key. But I think a good game plan for her maybe, and if her mind was in the right place, she goes, okay, I need to get this to the ground. Let's change it up. And then also her corner. You need to have good cornermen. If they're not giving proper advice, maybe it is an upper body tie. Maybe instead of doing a judo throw, maybe we just do a double leg shot, a simple shot. And I know she can do all those things. Oh, yeah. So you got to mix up the judo with the wrestling. And I think if they would have changed the advice a little bit, maybe that would have helped too.
I feel like her level wasn't really a problem. I feel like, yes, she was very skilled. Judo and MMA, we haven't seen a lot of people be super successful with it.
It's hard.
Wrestling as a base has proved to be a lot more, successful in MMA. Seems to transition a lot better. But at like an Olympic level of any athlete, you're going to have you're going to be well-rounded enough. Yep. And there is plenty of wrestling in judo. There's plenty of throws that double as, wrestling takedowns. The double leg, there's single legs, there's all kinds of stuff. And you got to figure though, when she stepped in that, I think it was the first kick that she ate from Holly Holm that backed her up against the cage. Yeah. I think that was kind of like the wake up call. Like, Holly Holm was very physically imposing. I didn't realize that there's a size difference. Holly was bigger, a little bit stronger. It looked like.
Yeah, it looked like she was stronger.
Yeah, I don't know. I still would have liked to have seen if they made the weight thing happen. Cyborg against.
Oh yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
that would have been. I mean, everybody. That's the fight you ever want. But Cyborg would have. I think. I don't know. I mean, it would have been great if Cyborg was the one that gave her first loss. Like if they would. I want to see them hit the mat together. So those are the kind of matches because Cyborg's really good on the ground. I mean, people don't realize how good she is. She's good on the ground too. But there's certain matchups you're like, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if they could get to the ground and you could see them grapple together and see if Ronda could armbar her? That's because that would be awesome. I would have enjoyed that. The striking, I knew she would get her ass beat. I don't think. Ronda could hang with Cyborg standing up for sure. She's just an animal. She's too tough.
She's tough. She's so physical. She's so imposing. And she's not a small girl. No. That's a big person.
Yeah.
Just, I stood next to her and I'm like, holy shit, she doesn't have an ounce of fat on her. And she's not a small person.
She's intimidating.
I don't know what she walks around at, but
she's buffed.
Like 165, 170 or something. Like, I don't know, man. She's not a small person.
Yeah.
She was pretty shredded. So I don't know. I haven't been that close to Ronda Rousey, but I'd imagine that you can just see body composition versus body composition. They're not the same animal.
Yeah. No, that would have been a bad matchup.
I wouldn't want to. I think if I had to choose, I'd rather be armbarred by Ronda Rousey than punched by Cyborg in the face.
Yeah, definitely. My arm being popped, definitely, I'll take an arm pop instead of a concussion any day.
Oh, for sure. So, all right. I'm not saying I get out. I'm saying I would prefer the popped elbow over the concussion and or busted teeth. Like, I got to conserve what I got left facial brain-wise.
Well, I told you what happened to me. I was like, for the people that don't know, I'm an older guy. I'm 53 years old, and I was doing a private lesson with this guy, and the guy's like, "Hey, young kid, pretty buff bodybuilder type guy," and he goes, "Hey, I want to do some sparring sessions." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I'll get a guy that can spar with you." No, I want to spar with you. And I said, "Well, I really don't spar anymore. I mean, I don't think that's something that you would get any benefit out of." So no, I really want to do. I want to spar with you. Like, okay, I'll spar with you. I'll do it. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to work with this guy. This guy came out trying to knock my block off, right? And he's a big dude. And so boom, I ate a couple punches. I'm like, okay, nice. So it takes you a while to get your timing back. Okay, I start making a miss, pop, 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 and I didn't think anything of the punches that I had taken. And that night, I go home, and it's nighttime, and all of a sudden I get these crazy flashing lights, like aliens or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Boom, boom. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? And I go, oh man, I think I might have done something to my eye. And so this guy who trains at our gym, Luigi, he's a really awesome eye surgeon, and so he's a retina specialist. And I called him up. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. He's like, oh, come in, I got to check you out. And then sure enough, I had a torn retina. And he's like, Alex, what happened? How'd you get this? I go, I was sparring. He's like, sparring? Alex, how old are you? I go, I know. I said the same thing. I let my ego get involved. I felt like, I'll get in there with this guy and yeah, he got me a couple shots. You tore your retina. I'm going to have to do laser surgery. And I didn't know you could do laser surgery like right there. He's like, okay. He took me in the back. He's got like this machine and I'm like kind of freaking out. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. What's going to happen here? He's like, I'm going to use this laser on you and I'm going to fix you up real quick. I go, wait, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm going to put this little drops in your eyes and it'll numb your eye a little bit and we're going to do it. And sure enough, he just, and boom.
And you're fine?
I'm fine. But still, he's like, Alex, and every so often I'll get like a little light clip every so often, and I got a few floaters in there. But basically, I'm okay. But my right eye is not going to be the same ever again. There's not much I can do about it again. So I'm like, okay, no more sparring, no more ego. Just, I'm a trainer. No need to that. I'll do jiu-jitsu. I'll roll around, but I'm not getting hit in the head anymore.
I caught someone's the back of their hamstring in the back of my head the other day. Just a spazzy movement during nogi, and I got a bright flash of light out of it. I'm like, man, they're getting easier to get.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like, age is not fun. It really it's true. It affects you. You can take care of your body. You can do all these things, but it's just Mother Nature. Your body breaks down.
Yeah, I mean. Have you had like many concussions over the years, you think?
Oh man, I've had so many concussions, especially when I was young. When I was young, I didn't know better. When I was first started boxing, I was like 14, 15 years old. I went into this is another story. I went into this gym called Star Gym. It was on Alum Rock and White area right there. It was East San Jose. And first day that I walk into the thing, this guy goes, hey kid, you want to do some sparring? I'm like, yeah, I'll do some sparring. Sure, why not? Great. I don't know better. No one's watching me. I'm just a kid walking off the street. They put me in with this pro guy, and the guy just lit me up. Blah, 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 blah. I ended up throwing up later that day. Obviously, I had a concussion. I didn't know better. But I came back the very next day, did another thing again. I probably went through like 3 weeks of just like every so often, I don't know, I can't count all the days that I threw up. I must have had multiple concussions. Finally, one of the trainers said, hey kid, come here. I don't want you doing that. This is you. I'll watch over you. He could see that I was always coming back. I was a tough kid. So he kind of took me under his wing and started watching over me. And then, a year goes by, I realized, hey, that was not cool. They just used me as like a sparring dummy for this guy to practice on. So that's why it's so important. A lot of kids, when you go into a boxing, that's one thing about boxing and martial arts. When you go into a real martial arts gym, the coaches, it's martial arts, there's the martial art, the fighting part, the martial part, and then there's the art. They care about the individual. Not that all boxers don't, but over there, it's more like it's cutthroat. You're just, can you fight? If you can't fight, we don't need you, and they're not trying to teach you what's the proper thing of discipline, dedication, all the important things, intangibles of martial arts. It's just like, hey, let's put your dukes up. Can you fight?
Yeah. I mean, you go into a boxing gym, the reasons that people are going to go to those gyms are like, it's like drastically different walks of life, like drastically different purposes. Yeah. Like, I want to learn how to box. Like, okay, we'll take a boxing class. But no. There's people in there that are trying to be pros. Yeah. And that's a different world. Like their demeanor, like just being fed to those guys off the street. Yeah, it is bullshit. And it shouldn't happen. Like, that's how a lot of spots were back in the day, even martial arts gyms, man. It's like, especially with like MMA getting so popular over the last like 2 decades, which is crazy. It's 2 decades of this now, right? It's crazy. And there are definitely gyms out there that are more cutthroat than others. I mean, obviously you don't see it as much in jiu-jitsu, but obviously like MMA specific gyms, you go in there with the wrong attitude, just seeing guys come in off the street. You remember the one that challenged Koscheck and they brought him in the ring?
Yeah. They got the video of that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's brutal. The guy stuck it out for a little while.
Yeah, a little while. But that's different. That guy was asking for that. Oh. He came in saying, hey, I can beat your ass. If someone comes up and says that, that's not very smart. There's a difference between that and
being naive and being fed to some pro boxer or whatever, as opposed to being delusional MMA fan getting worked over. The thing is, like, if you're playing UFC on Xbox or something and you've never been to a gym or trained in your life, or like you wrestled in your friend's garage or basement a couple times, those fighters might not be as big as you, but like each and every one of them the women included, could fuck you up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry. They're professional athletes, and it's a different thing now. It's not like back in the day, the early days of like Pancrase or, UFC, where like a guy's a boxer, but that's it. And a guy does jiu-jitsu and that's it. It's like everybody's good at everything now. These kids coming up that are like 18 years old now are freak athletes. They're good at everything. They're all well-rounded. And the one sport athletes, like it's not a thing anymore.
No, they're amazing athletes now. MMA's is truly a fantastic. It's an incredible combat sport.
Yeah, it's just seeing the kids coming up now. Like, look at Anthony at our gym. Like, he's been there since he's how old?
16.
16. His little brother's now. His little brother's like a little kid, but he's coming. Like, he's good.
Yep.
He's technical. You see him doing the striking and stuff. He's got good grappling, and like these are just kids.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a science. I mean, now it's like it was trial and error in the beginning. Everything was like, oh, what works? What martial art's superior? What's going to work? What's the combination that works? This is what now they know. We know the ingredients to success. It's like this is what you have to do. You have to become very good on the ground with jiu-jitsu. You have to be able to wrestle. You have to have nice Muay Thai striking. It's the combination. Transitions have to be right. It is a science now, and so now you know what it takes. And this is the type of athlete that you need, and this is the roadmap to get to become a successful fighter.
Man, talk about like the evolution of MMA, the evolution of grappling, and like just competition in general now. Like the sort of submission only no-gi thing became pretty big now with EBI on TV, and you're seeing a lot of it like in like the Fight to Win promotions and what's the one, the Russian one, ACB?
ACB. Yeah.
So their next big event I think is in Kazakhstan. They have another one coming up with Gordon Ryan going against Vinny Magliash. Like that's
awesome. That's cool. I love all that. I think that's fantastic. I love that. I love the submission only ones. I like all that. I like the super fights. I love all that. I mean, I'm really curious at how popular it is with just like layman people that don't really know jiu-jitsu or they don't know grappling. I wonder how well it does with those guys. But for me, being a person that already understands it, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy that stuff. It's so much fun to watch.
We don't have tap dancers here. My dog is like tangled up in one of the headphone cables.
This dog is buffed.
Oh yeah, Bailey. She doesn't skip leg day.
Yeah.
She's
cute little girl.
She's crazy. Man. Yeah, just after I think the podcast that I think there was like a Joe Rogan show where what's his name, Danaher, came on there. I think a lot of people listen to that, and it's made it even bigger now. Just sort of the leg lock thing, and you see guys like Gordon Ryan coming up. I mean, he went against Yuri. They were both ADCC champions of the two different weight divisions, and Gordon actually beat him.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, that was incredible.
And just hearing Danaher talk about his sort of philosophy on sort of leg locks and just sort of the tangling of the legs and all this stuff. And it's just like, I wonder what jiu-jitsu is going to look like in 10 years.
Yeah. I think it's morphing, it's like things are changing. It's interesting, but you're right. I think that you're seeing now the leg locks are going to start playing more into the game, but someone's going to come up. It's just like anything else, you get someone that's really good with loop chokes. You're like, wow, look at all these loop chokes. Look at that attack. How, or look at these back control, how he's controlling the back, and then he's like the truck, Gio Martinez and those guys are like using. So, it's just a different outlook. The position has always been there, but now they're like really pinpointing it, under a microscope and like, okay, what we can do from here and there. Someone's going to come up with some crazy neck, who knows what crank or some kind of weird stuff. There's crazy, it'll happen, but it's, I like where it's going. It's kind of neat. It's cool.
It's definitely cool. Just, our traditionally, you have jiu-jitsu guys in the gi where like they're real good at defending their arms and their neck, and wrestlers, they learn first how to defend their legs, right? The sprawl, right? That's what that is. But now you have like this combination kind of no-gi athlete that they came right up into that, like the Danaher Death Squad guys, where they're going right for the legs. They're not necessarily like trying to like go, feet to ankles to knee to hip to blah blah blah. Like they'll go right into a leg lock thing. Like they'll drop into it. But the really interesting one to me is actually the combat jiu-jitsu stuff. Mm-hmm. Seeing how these positions, how it applies to like if there's strikes involved.
I hate that.
You didn't like it?
I do not like that at all. I hate that. I'm like, this is lame. I'd rather have them like fight,
like punch,
or do jiu-jitsu. It's like, but now they're like slapping each other, and to me, it's like, and it looks like the guys that are doing it are like, they're the guys that aren't quite good enough to beat the jiu-jitsu guys. They're like right in the middle of the road. You get these guys that kind of did MMA and they were okay at it. So I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to see like the best grappler or the best MMA guy. But I don't want to see the guy that's like, oh, I'm kind of good at that. But that's my personal opinion.
Who was it? Like, I think Nate Orchard did it. I watched the match he did with, oh my God, Wagner Rocha. And it was just, it was what a 15-minute match with like 30 minutes of Wagner Rocha overtime.
Wagner Rocha did it too also? He was doing the combat one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He made it to the finals against Gary Tonin, and Gary Tonin beat him in like, pretty.
Okay, well, I take that part back about not being good at grappling.
No, and then like, Boogeyman's in it. Like, he's the one division champion. Like, they were going to have like champion versus champion. Like, those two guys are supposed to go against each other.
All right.
Like, oh man, they're doing this no-gi camp at 10th Planet Freaks, the 10th Planet San Diego. It's like Boogeyman and Gio. I think Eddie Bravo, no, Jean-Jacques Machado is supposed to be there. Keenan Cornelius is going to be there. I think Yuri's going to be there, and Vinny Magalhaes.
What is it?
It's a camp. It's a 3-day just like jiu-jitsu, like no-gi camp.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, and you're in San Diego, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like information overload.
That's a lot of. I forgot how one time the guy that owns Marcos Torregasso, that owns Yamaso.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was a brown belt and I was visiting Cassio Warnick's gym, and I think he was a brown belt too at the time.
Sacramento?
Maybe I was a purple belt and he was a brown belt, yeah. And he had told me, because I had never been to a single seminar. I don't go to seminars. And I think that sometimes people think that, I need to go to seminar to get better. I mean, if you're going to get better, you get better by training. Seminars open your mind up. They bring up like new techniques, like, can fit into your game. But I don't think you have to go to a seminar to become really good. And sometimes when you go to these, when you're like there's so many guys, I leave a seminar and I remember I went to Cobrini's. It was a great seminar. There was only 2 techniques. I only remembered 1 technique. That's pretty bad, So if I went to technique where there's a seminar where there's like 5 instructors and they're doing multiples, I'm probably going to come back with 0 because it's just too much information, It's like, if you can pull 1 good thing out, I'm happy. I just need 1. So let me get something out. But when it's too much information, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not going to remember this.
Yeah, I think it's funny. As a white belt, I went to Marcelo Garcia seminar with Bobby Southworth. And
Bobby.
That was funny, man. Like, just they paired him up with somebody and the move was like, you're supposed to jump up on the guy's back and do basically like a flying loop choke or something, and it was like, I'm paired up with like Bobby and then like someone like Garth Size.
Oh my god, yeah, it's funny that Bobby texted me the other day,
really?
like maybe like 4 days ago.
How's he doing?
But it wasn't a normal text. It was like, I get this text and it's like $19 lube job, 28 replace tires, 32 change the clutch. It was like all this mechanic stuff, and I'm like, and so I didn't have his phone number. I just had, it was just the number, right? So I'm thinking wrong number. So I sent this thing, wrong number, and then all of a sudden he's all Blade, and I'm all like, only one guy really, but I wasn't sure. I'm all. I go, do I know you? Who is this? And he's all, look on the wall, and then so on the wall at our AKA we have three people. We have me. We have Javier Mendez, the founder of AKA, and then we have Bobby Southworth. I'm all, Bobby. He's like, I don't know why it sent you that. I don't know how you got this stupid text. And then we just started talking about stuff. He said, hey, what's going on? How's the gym going? And whatever. It was funny.
That's a good icebreaker. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. If you want to talk to somebody, send them that one.
Onions, eggs, skim milk.
And then when they finally reply, see, you are there. Stop trying not to talk to me.
Exactly. It's like stalking 101.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I knew you were there. Talk about some oil changes and shit. You responded.
Yeah.
Dude. I haven't. Yeah. What's the last time? Like, I'll see him on Facebook every once in a while, but yeah, that's crazy.
I saw him on the UFC, that UFC show. That's how I found out what's going on. They did an actual thing. They're like, where is Bobby? And it's like, it has this 15-minute life story.
It's all us asking.
Yeah.
They made a whole UFC for it. Oh man, dude, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, he got some great stories with that guy. I loved it was a great experience opening up the gym with him though, man. We used to always laugh. I told him we always laugh at each other. He'd be over there doing the jiu-jitsu and I'd be doing the kickboxing, and he'd be like, hey, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and he'd be pointing people out. So it was fun. It was so funny.
Man, I got to drop it. Like I might be in Texas this year. I should drop in.
Yeah, you should show up.
I won't even say nothing. Just drop in.
Yeah.
It's like coming wearing a white belt. Like, hey, you wouldn't even recognize me. I'm like, 10 years older or something.
I know, my God. I've seen the pictures of you when you were a string bean.
I was like 20 something, man. It was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, I remember when you came in.
It's like 12 years ago, 11 years ago. What the hell?
Yeah. Time flies. It's amazing how much you just blink and it's like, whoa, 10 years went by.
I know. Yeah, like nothing works anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a busted ass neck. I think I'm diabetic. Yeah, I'm diabetic now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you're a good diabetic. You're like on not that much medication or none right? You're just eating right. And
I just got to watch my blood sugar. Like I'm supposed to take insulin, but like, honestly, just between training and eating right, I don't have to take much at all.
Yeah, that's great.
What they prescribe me is like, I have the whole like bottom of my refrigerator full of this shit. And I'm like, I barely have to use any. And I just keep testing my blood sugar all the time. But, you just gotta be responsible with it, man. It's like, and it's not one of those things where like I ate a bunch of shit and didn't do the right thing. It's like I have the hereditary version, like type 1. So all you can really do is, try to, eat right, and lots of vegetables, supposed to be real good for you. Avoid carbs, sugar, stuff like that. But yeah, as long as you behave yourself and like pay attention, it's almost kind of, it's weird to say it like they've like a blessing in disguise. It's like, it's a reminder to like, every time you're thinking about doing the wrong thing, it's like, yeah, but now there's repercussions. So it's like, it's a reminder to be on point. And I don't know. I feel like it's just going to make me better.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, your body is designed to heal itself. It's to treat itself. It's an amazing thing. The best analogy I always get is my friend always talks about, when you get a broken bone, right, they put a cast on it, but does the cast heal you? No, your body mends itself. Your body's an amazing tool. It's, you just got to treat it right, feed it right, and it will do well.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just seeing how much bad information has been like, given out over the years, like the food pyramid, like they were telling kids in schools for like the last 50 years about, the biggest part of the food pyramid was carbs. And now we're looking at it now and we're like, that should be like a genocide charge.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's like all the think of like all the unnecessary sugar and carbs like the whole world, or like at least the American public, has been eating, thinking it's the right thing to do. You have like companies like Gatorade funding all these like health studies.
That chart's based on economics. It's about financial money. That's why that chart's based on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can store grain in a time of famine, so you put that as the biggest piece, but in reality it's like no one eats vegetables anymore.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they do. Vegetarians, I guess, do.
Yeah, vegans. I'm not a vegan, but 3 days out of the week I eat a vegan, and it just because my gut's like all messed up. But it really helps. It helps. But I think your body also needs the protein. I mean, I think there's a fine line between going too far right or too far left. So, but yeah, it helps.
Yeah, it's the balance thing. I mean, I like to get a good amount of fat in the diet. I get some protein in there. I'm trying to eat more vegetables, more like leafy green vegetable salad type stuff. I've been trying to like force feed a lot of that, and it doesn't taste bad. If you train real hard, you're going to go home. All you really want is water, like a shower and food. Mm-hmm. And any of those, like, anything unhealthy, you're not going to feel right after. Like if the food makes it to where the next day when I go train, I feel like slow or like heavy or just queasy, I don't want that in my diet.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling. It's why I don't drink. So I hate the feeling of hangovers. Like I don't care if, people want to do whatever, have fun, but I don't like the way it feels the next day.
Yeah, no, I feel you right there. I agree with that.
It's like even when I would like go out socially or whatever, like we'd have like some event or something, it would be like I would just have like just regular whiskey in a glass, like, and not a lot, like and no like Coca-Cola in there, no beer, because like I just feel like bloated, at to pee constantly. I'm like, and I just have that. That would be it.
When I was young, I would drink, but the only reason I was drinking was so I could hook up with girls. That was it. It's like, oh, they're drinking, I guess I'll drink. I mean, you're young, you let peer pressure get to you. You're like, okay, I gotta drink. When I got older, I said, you know what? I don't need to do this. It's like, I'm just gonna be me.
You're like, girls, give me that AK-47.
Yeah.
We're partying. I got this.
Yeah. Sorry, girls, I don't drink. But yeah, so back in the day, it's funny what you did when you were a kid.
Oh God. I've done the wrong thing so many times. Like, I wouldn't even recognize the right thing for a very long time.
Yeah, that's the
I
truth.
wouldn't even know. It was like, it wasn't it wasn't like moral ambiguity. It was just the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And it was very clearly the wrong thing. So I knew it was wrong. I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you grow. And then I found jiu-jitsu people. There's a moral to that story. Don't do drugs.
Yes, sir.
Or something. I don't know. Man, you got kids at home. It's been about an hour.
Yep.
Man. So Alejandro Perez, Turbo.
Yes.
El Diablito. Or did we retire that name?
That's retired. Yeah, he's now just Turbo.
Turbo. Alejandro Perez. He's going to be fighting at this upcoming UFC, and that's where in Arizona?
Glendale, Arizona.
Glendale. Oh, yeah. Nice suburb outside of Phoenix there. Mm-hmm. Lovely area. Golf courses.
I've never been there.
Nice country clubs out there.
Oh, okay.
You get a few, golf.
I'm not a big golfer. I always wanted it, but I couldn't afford it.
I was going to make like a golf analogy, but I don't know any how to play golf. But there's clubs and a ball, and you get a few holes in.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer.
Something about par, under par.
I'm going to put my kid into golfing though. He wants to do it, so I'm like, I'm going to spend the money, let him experience it.
You got to get the pants, like the hat with the little ball on the top.
They
don't do that anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well.
But yeah, so we're going to Glendale, and I'm excited for this fight. It's a huge fight for him. He's fighting Matt Lopez, who's ranked number 15 by the UFC. So the guy's tough. He's like a 4-time state high school champion, national champion, wrestled at Cal State Fullerton, LFA former champion. He just lost to number 2 ranked Asuncao. So that was a tough fight. He got stopped, but he's really, really good. So, I mean, Alejandro wanted to step up. He wanted to fight somebody in the top 20, and he got this guy. So this is going to be a tough fight. And what I like about it is this guy comes. So like Alejandro is a counter puncher. He loves guys that come forward. So this guy, it's a stylistic fight that works for us, I think. But the thing I'm worried about is the guy's a really high level wrestler. So we're going to find out how good his takedown defense is. It's going to be a fun fight, and I think Alejandro's going to win this fight. It's going to be tough, but I think he's going to put it together.
He's got speed. He's super coordinated.
Tough. Warrior spirit. Super tough guy. Great. He's just tough. I mean, his one loss was he got guillotine choked and he went to sleep. He was the whole time fighting. He didn't tap. The guy put him out. He was standing guillotine. They had to release him, and he fell flat on his face. He was out. I mean, it's not the most beautiful thing, but I got to give him props. Oh. He fought to the end, and it's funny because they were interviewing Matt Lopez, and that's exactly what he said. So you know what? I think this fight's tougher than the fight that I lost because this guy is not going to quit. I'm going to push pressure on him constantly, but he's not going to quit. I'm going to have to stop him. That's what he says. But so we're prepared for that, and so we're looking to keep it standing, obviously. But Alejandro can go everywhere. He's a well-rounded guy. He can do jiu-jitsu. He can wrestle. He can do it all. He's been wrestling a long time, actually. He's from Mexico, but when he came here to the States, probably the last 6-7 years, he's just been wrestling. So his game is solid.
Super cool guy. Very talented. Works harder than just about anybody I know.
Yeah, super hard worker.
He's always in there. Super humble. Real nice guy for being as high level as he is. So that's a big test for him. It's a great opportunity to break into that top 20 sphere over in the UFC in 145 division, which is a stacked 135. Yep. Ah, that's right. Mm-hmm. All right, I thought he'd be big for 145.
He's a little guy.
Stacked division also.
That is
crazy.
TJ, Garbrandt, Cruz, those top guys right there.
Yeah, so basically that whole top 10 sphere of that division, you're like each one of those guys is pretty much famous at this point.
Yeah, you got Sterling, you got Rivera, you got Asuncao, you got they're tough. That's the top. That's the 5 right there. I think the main guys.
But just look how lightning strikes though. The number 11 guy was fighting for the title.
I know, that's crazy.
Right.
Anything could happen. And what's great is he can be this. What's great about Alejandro, I mean, he's obviously the Spanish market, the Latin market. He's huge. He can be a star. He's right there. I mean, I think he has the best record right now for the Latins. He's 6-1-1 in the UFC. He was a tough champion for season 1, I think it was. So I mean, he can be a star if they take care of him, and bring him up right. And they love him in Mexico. So. I'm excited for him. He's got so much potential. Great person, family guy. I mean, I got nothing but good things to say about that kid. He's awesome.
Yeah. So look out this, and the fight card is what day on Friday?
It's Saturday. Actually, it's the 14th, if I'm not wrong. 14th or 15th. I'm not sure. I'm the worst, dude. When you ask me like name stuff,
it's a fight night, right?
Yeah.
So UFC Fight Night, Glendale, Arizona, this coming week. Look for Alejandro Perez, Turbo. He's representing AKA the Alex Khanbabian crew.
Yeah. It's the AKA crew. It's like
AKA
we're just
crew.
Yeah, we're one big happy family. I mean, Javier is the main figurehead. He's been around for so many years. I always tell people always ask me like, man, dude, because AKA's been around for a long time. I go, dude, we've been having champions for decades. When you hear like a team like the 49ers, the 90s or whenever they were champions, the Patriots now. I mean, we're not talking like in the 80s. We're talking about the 80s, the 90s, 2000. I mean, AKA's made champions. I mean, they've tested time. They've passed it like numerous times. So nothing but praise for Javier Mendez. And I think him being humble and just being able to say, just like Khabib, it's like, Khabib's got Eagles MMA. A lot of guys would say, no, I don't want you to wear that. But no, Jav's like, hey, whatever works, I want to be here for you. And then that kind of mental aspect of the game that's what makes champions. He's open to new stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, going from the Frank Shamrock, Kung Lee days all the way to present. In
BJ Penn, Jens Pol. I mean, dude, BJ Penn started AK. People don't know that he went from Half Gracie Jiu Jitsu, from a black belt. He came to AK. He fought all the way up to Jens Pulver for his first championship when he lost. That was all AK. That was amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, I remember that when he came to the gym and I was rolling with Josh Thompson and Frank Shamrock was there and all these guys. It was like, I mean, that's amazing.
It's crazy. I mean, even looking today, we have guys either that have the belt, that have the championship right now in UFC, or are in the title picture. That's 4. There's 2 active champions right now, lightweight and light heavyweight, which are like the 2 most hotly contested titles in the entire industry, in the entire sport. Yeah. They're the most talked about titles. Think about it. Like, think of who has been champion in those divisions. They're like the most competitive divisions.
Yeah.
And have been for years. The light heavyweight title has been, prominently featured. Like, think of all the big events that have been fought over that title. STC. Then if you're talking about heavyweight division, he's in that title picture too. And when he is and Kane is, look at 185. We have a guy ready to go. I mean, like, he's been in that title picture. He's a former champion. We've always had the top welterweights. You have John Fitch right now. He's 2 promotion champion.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. And he's back going to Bellator.
Now he's in Bellator right now, and he's got a really good fight coming up. They already announced his first opponent, didn't they?
There's more Russians. We got this guy named Islam. He's fantastic. He's as people aren't going to believe this. He is as good as Khabib. He's amazing, but better striking. My personal opinion, he's fantastic. They're both great. They're just 2 different animals, but Islam can wrestle. He can strike phenomenally. He is the new, when Khabib steps out, this guy's going to roll right into his place. This guy is amazing. I got nothing but high praise. This kid's going to be hard to beat. Khabib's going to tear it up. He's going to have Conor fights, Tony fights, whatever. And then Islam's just going to roll right back in.
Oh, I mean, they had a list of 4 other people that didn't want to take the fight or didn't take the fight on, the event last week for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, he's so tough, man. He's so tough. And it's just like he says, I mean, when you see him training in the gym, like, he's just an animal, man. The guy's strong, he's technical, he's great on the ground. Beautiful.
Like, look where he trains. Just look where he trains. That's the level there, and the level of competition, and as competitive as the guys are with each other, as much as it's a team and a family and everything like that, it is very high level and very competitive. And those guys go for broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like this, like, crazy, the way like Dana's described it in the past, like a barbarians. It's not like that, but it is very competitive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anytime you got alpha males, everyone wants to be the best, but you still have that team spirit where it's like, hey, we're building towards something together as a team. Everyone here wants to be a champion, but let's help each other get there.
Last thing before we take off, I every once in a while I cruise through Instagram and I'll see, like, I saw Rampage and Rashad Evans are like doing a movie together, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I saw like Rampage's Instagram. They were like kind of trash talking back and forth, like him and Wanderlei Silva again. It was like he's like
to fight. They're gonna fight again.
They're kind of like they're kind of trying to stir the pot a little bit. So I don't know if I'd want to see that fight again.
Yeah, I mean, I think you brought it up. You said they're going to have a Legends division.
I've heard some rumblings of that,
and I can see them doing that because Scott's that type of person. Like he likes that kind of stuff. But I'm not a big Legends guy. It's like, hey, you're a legend for a reason. Don't you're past your prime. Go away respectfully. And
I picture Ken Shamrock being like, I'm back.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see Ken again. I don't want to see Tito. I don't want to see,
Well, Tito just fought, didn't he? Like pretty recently, within the last year or two.
Yeah, he did.
With Chael Sonnen.
But now isn't Tito talking to fight with, he's trying to stir up another fight. Who's he fighting? Come on. He's got somebody, he's arguing. He's like, yeah, I'll come back. Chuck Liddell. He wants to fight Chuck. That's the fight.
That was the where the rumors of the Legends division were spinning out of.
Yeah.
That I think Chuck signing with Bellator.
Yeah, he's supposed to be working out, and I see all this Instagram stuff. I see videos of him. I'm like, oh no, please, I don't want to see this fight. But they want to do it, so I think it's going to happen.
I wonder what kind of shape he's in.
I don't know. Better have good chin shape. I don't know, because I don't know how his chin is. I don't know. That's one thing. I think that's one of those things. I think that your brain only can take so much. That's just the way. It's like you were talking about being older. Torn retina, messed up back, or whatever it is. The brain is a sensitive thing. You get turned off too many times, it turns off easily, and that's not something that you can fix. It's just I haven't fought or done it in a long time, dude. You get clipped, you're gonna get turned off.
Yeah, man. That was one of the things I didn't like seeing Chuck Liddell lose. It was just weird.
No, I hated that too. I've always been a Chuck fan.
I was like, I just got queasy seeing those flash knockouts. And the other one is like, I didn't like seeing Vanderlei get knocked out either.
Both those guys, no chin. The chin's gone.
They used to.
Yeah,
but
how many?
That's
what I'm saying. How many times can you get hit? And your brain can only take so much damage. It's just the way it is. And you can't rewrite history. You can't go back and it's like a bank, and once you spend that money, it's gone,
Damn. Well, man, I'm going to wrap up so you can do some family stuff and I can do some eating stuff. Gonna get ready. Gonna teach some jiu-jitsu early in the morning. Guys, be sure and check out Alejandro Perez Turbo on Saturday over in Glendale, Arizona at the UFC Fight Night. He's an up-and-coming 135er. He's killing it. And thanks, Alex, the Blade Khanbabian, a.k.a. Sunnyvale.
Thank you, Clinton. It was fun being here.
Absolutely. Check us out online. I think it's aka-sunnyvale.com. Be sure and follow at aka Sunnyvale, at Clint Cronin. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Clint Cronin Show. Another one in the can. Thank you.
Peace out.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.
Customary handshake.